2024 is over. Here's my top 9 books that I read slash listened to this year. I love audiobooks, and it's just under 100 books, probably 75 to 100 books I went through this year. So I went through a lot. These are my favorites. I'm leaving out the most controversial, non-appropriate YouTube books, of course. Don't even ask me about those, but these are the ones that I really loved. And apparently this was the year of the autobiography for me. I do love autobiographies. I love biographies, true stuff. I love history. I love nonfiction. But that wasn't something I planned. It just happens to be that way. And you're going to see that as we hit this list right here. Let's hit it hard. Let's go. I'm going to give you the top 3 at the end. The others are in no particular order. In fact, I'm going to start with parenting. My top parenting book of the year was Simplicity Parenting by Kim John Payne and Lisa Ross. And this was a good inspiration to be more minimalist in my parenting. Get rid of some toys, get rid of stuff we don't need, simplify the schedule, just make it a little bit simpler around here. And I love it. Makes everything just easier. Next one, kind of parenting related, Empirical Introduction to Youth. Not so much about kids, little kids, like my kids, but once all of us are through with puberty, we're pretty much adults, is basically what the book's saying. We still have time to develop wisdom and of the wisdom of old age and stuff, and our brains do continue to learn things and grow. But really, we're functioning basically at an adult level in terms of impulse control and other things that sometimes often you don't think kids of that late teenage years have, or even college kids these days. We treat them like babies, but that's not necessary, and that's what the book's about. I recommend it. Joseph Bronsky. Favorite spirituality or meditation book was Science of Enlightenment by Shinzen Young. I didn't actually read a lot in that category this year, but that one was a good one, and it got me inspired in my meditation practice. Okay, now we're getting to some of the autobiographies. Surely You're Joking, Mr. Fenneman makes it on the list. It was just entertaining. It's not really about anything. It's just this guy being a silly physicist and tinkering with things and finding the world interesting. And, I don't think it was like an amazing book, but I don't know. I guess I didn't have a lot of amazing books to put on the list this year. Next one, slightly autobiography, Chaos by Tom O'Neill. This one is dark and disturbing, and it took me some time just to recover from this book because it's about Charles Manson and the CIA and all sorts of deep rabbit holes. But it's also a bit autobiography because it's about his 20 years or something that he took trying to write this book and research it, and it is insane, his commitment to the cause, and inspiring in that way as well, but also entertaining and just wild and weird and like, can you believe it? It's crazy stuff. Okay, Witness, Whittaker Chambers, also some dark stuff that the government's been up to. Communist spies, going a little bit further back in time. Not totally unrelated, but his battle with Alger Hiss, the communist spy who still denies it. I don't know, is he even alive? Anyways, okay, let's get to the top 3 because that's what we want to hear. You know me, I love the classics. I always do. Old books I love, so we're going to go back a little bit with these. Edgar Allan Poe collection, and I listened to the collection performed by Vincent Price and Basil Rathbone. It was really, really well performed, and just so much enjoyment to just enjoy it. It's not like an intellectual nonfiction kind of thing. It's just let me just enjoy something right now. Number 2, Origin of Species by Darwin, of course. Classic, and I loved it. I thought it was incredibly readable, enjoyable. A lot of these kind of like older books like that are dry and boring. I did listen to the abridged version from Richard Dawkins, and so a little bit of faith that he didn't meddle with it too much. At some point, maybe I'll just go back and do the whole unabridged thing, but for what it was, I thought it was great, so loved it. Number 2. And then number 1, we got to go way back in time, because those are the books I love. Caesar's commentaries on his war commentaries, Civil War, Gallic War. I thought, again, super readable for something that's like all ancient. I mean, maybe it helps the translation I read. Wouldn't it be fun to read it in Latin someday? Absolutely. But just a good old war history book, except it's written by Julius Caesar, or at least, as far as we know, mostly by him. Super cool, super fun, and highly recommend. And that was my number one book of the 2024. Not as amazing as my 2023 experiences, but I had some great books in there. I hope you enjoy them. Go out, get one of those, and let me know what you think of it.